Hello there, fifth graders. Happy Friday. We are wrapping up our poetry unit this week. Do you feel smarter because you've interpreted all this poetry? You have done a great job. Today, we're going to take a little break from the road not taken. We will get there in just a moment. And we're going to use a little shorter poem. But before we do, I want to review with you 3 words about poetry. Stanza. What's a stanza? That's right. It is a section or verse of a poem. Remember, The Road Not Taken has 4 stanzas, and they were each broken up by a space in between. What is a line? Hopefully, you are thinking a row of words in a stanza. And so a stanza is made up of several lines. Most poems, or many, have 4 lines per stanza, okay? Or maybe they have 5 lines per stanza. So stanza, line, and then rhyme scheme. What is rhyme scheme? This is the pattern in which a poem rhymes. And we use letters to do that. A, B, or A, B, B, A. Or maybe you have 3 different words that rhyme. And so you have A, B, C, A, B, C. Different poems follow different rhyme schemes. And these are patterns of the rhyming words. And remember, rhyming words, they have different beginning sounds, but the rest of the word sounds the same. Like, can you think of an example? How about up and cup? They both rhyme. All right, so let's look. We're going to use my favorite poet, Shel Silverstein. He's my favorite. Did you notice I was back in my classroom today? I'm over here by the door, by our shelves here. Okay, and Shel Silverstein, I thought this was a good time of year to use this one called Snowball. Okay, and maybe you have made a snowball today. I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. We'll put me up in the corner over here. And let's read this poem together. Okay, so follow along with me as I read out loud. This one made me laugh. I made myself a snowball, as perfect as could be. I thought I'd keep it as a pet and let it sleep with me. I made it some pajamas and a pillow for its head. Then last night it ran away, but first it wet the bed. Oops. Do you think the snowball really wet the bed? No, it melted because snowballs can't live in a warm house. They melt. They need the cold temperatures to stay frozen. So I thought this was a little funny. I could picture one of my children when they were smaller, maybe making this snowball and taking it inside and putting it in bed and then waking up with their bed all wet because the snowball melted. So I hope that hasn't happened to you before. But if it has, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. All right. So how many stanzas does this poem have? It has 2, one over here and one over here. This one's a little harder because of the way I put it, but you can tell this is a section and this is a section. So 2 stanzas in this poem. Let's count the lines. And remember, a line is a row. I used extra space here because I wanted one on one side and one on the other. So some of my lines had to overlap and go underneath. We're going to count this as one line. So let's go ahead and count the lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines in stanza 1. How about in stanza 2? Count with me. 1, oops, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lines in stanza 2. And that's how most poems work. However many lines are in the first stanza, it's usually the same in every stanza. Not every poem, but most. And then do you see a rhyme scheme in here? So we're looking for those rhyming words. How about snowball and bee? Those don't rhyme. How about snowball and pet? Nope. How about snowball and me? No, but I do see that me rhymes with B. Okay, so remember we always start with A. So this line is A and nothing rhymes with it. So we won't have another A. This line is B. Okay, this doesn't rhyme with anything. So we're going to have to use a third letter. So we would use C. So A, B, C. And then this last line, it rhymes up here. So it would also be B. So this would be A, B, C, B. Okay, let's see if the second stanza follows the same rhyme scheme. It should. I made it some pajamas and a pillow for its head, so no rhyming there. So again, we have A, B. Then last night it ran away, no rhyming there, so C. And then, but first it wet the bed. Bed rhymes with head, so that's going to be B. A, B, C, B. So just some good practice there. We will wrap around to poetry again throughout the year, and we'll practice some more rhyme scheme. Okay, way to go, working hard this week. Let's talk about a new year. It is 2021. In case you didn't remember, we are in a new year. And sometimes a new year makes us think of new goals, new things we want to accomplish. So we have a writing assignment or a creation project that we want you to work on this week that has to do with making a goal, okay, or thinking about what you want to achieve. So what's a goal? I kind of told you. It's something you want to achieve. Why do people think about goals in a new year? Sometimes it's like a fresh start. So a lot of people will say, this is a new year. What can I work on or what can I improve this year? And that the beginning of the year is a great time to set a goal or think about a way that you want to improve or get better. How do you think this connects to our poem, The Road Less Traveled? I told you we were taking a little break from The Road Less Traveled, okay? But I wanted to tie it in to this. And so we're not going to do a lot with the poem today, but I do want you to connect goals or improvement to the road less traveled. And remember, we said in this poem, he was faced with two decisions and he chose one, okay? And he took the one that was less traveled. He made the decision that wasn't as popular or wasn't as common or not everyone else was making. And he said at the end of the poem that it made all the difference in his life. Okay. And this was a good thing. So I think he made a goal to do something that was uncommon, to do something that wasn't quite as popular, maybe to be a little different than his peers. Okay, or his friends. And for him, it was a good choice. It worked out. So I think he improved himself by making a hard choice, by choosing something that wasn't as popular. How are you going to improve yourself this year? Probably not the same way Robert Frost did. Or maybe you have a decision you need to make like he did. And so then that's a way you could improve yourself this year. Maybe you have a thing in school that you want to get better at. Maybe you want to get better at math or at reading. Maybe you want to read more often. That would be awesome. Okay. You have a choice. You have this paper, and I went over this a little bit in your bundle walk. You can choose one specific thing you want to work on, and you can fill out these questions for that one specific thing. Or you can make a vision board. And I'm going to talk about them both. So let's go right here. I have a goal that I want to achieve. And my goal is I want to read 20 books by the last day of school. Oh my goodness, that's a lot. But you know what? I have done this in years past. And so I know that I can do it. It's going to take some work on my part. But to be honest, I didn't read as many as I wanted to before the new year. And so I'm hoping to catch up a little bit. And I'd really like to get 20 books read by the last day of school. So I'm going to go through these questions and I'm going to answer them for my goal. Okay. And I'm going to move my picture right down here. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay. And so the first one is, what exactly do you want to accomplish? Well, I was pretty specific. I'm just going to write that right there. I'm going to write, I want to read 20 books by the last day of school. And then measurable. Can I measure this? I sure can, because it's a number, 20. So I will know when the 20th book is finished that I will make my goal. And what will I be able to do? I will be able to tell you about 20 different books that I've read. And action. What's my action? What will you need to do in order to reach your goal? Well, I'm going to need to make a plan. And there are 5 months, January, February, March, April, and May before the last day of school. And then there's a little bit of June. Okay. And so if I know that most months have 4 weeks in them, then I can do 4 weeks times 5 months and I get about 20 weeks. And then I said there was a little bit of June, so I can put 21 weeks in there. And if I want to read 20 books in 21 weeks, then I'm going to have to read about one book each week. And so, what will you need to do in order to reach your goal? I'm going to write, I will read about one book each week. That's going to take some work on my part. So, I'm also going to write, I will read most of the time instead of watch TV because I've got to make some time to do that. So, I better turn off the TV and read my book. It's a good thing I like to read. Okay, and then realistic. Is this goal reachable? How do you know? And to be honest, this goal is a little hard, but it is reachable. I know because I've done it before another time. Okay, and I also know because I measured it out what I'll need to do each week. So it is reachable. So I'll just explain that right here. And then this last one, timely. When will you reach this goal? What is your deadline? Well, I already made a deadline. I said by the last day of school. And so I would just write here, by the last day of school, I will reach my deadline. So if you have one specific goal, maybe yours is like mine, maybe it's 20 bucks, maybe it's 10, okay? Or maybe it's improve on my math facts or memorize all my multiplication facts. Maybe you have a very specific goal. I want you to write that goal in the specific part and then answer all of these questions for that goal. Okay. Maybe you're a little bit more creative and you want to make a project instead of write about one specific goal. Maybe there are dreams that you have in the future. Okay. If that's you, I want you to make a vision board and I'm going to show you my vision board. Now, I did not make a poster, but this could be a poster. I made mine digitally so I could show you. And I'm just going to move it. Okay, so that covers it up just a little bit, but let's see what I've got here. So I said, what are some things I hope to keep doing or accomplish? And I found pictures to match those things. You know me, I love reading. I said I wanted to read 20 books, so I found a stack of books there. I really hope to spend my time collecting and reading more and more books and just improving and learning. That's important to me. You know, I love to hike with my family. I really hope that in the next several years, we can get to Colorado again and do some hiking there. And so I found this picture of hiking in the mountains because that's something I hope to do in the future. I've got a cartoon family down here. You know, my family is important to me. And so I hope to continue to grow my family way in the future, like when my kids want to have kids and I become a grandma. And I hope to just always spend lots of time with my family. So family is part of my vision board because I want them to continue to be important in my life. Over here, I also put serve each other. That's something important to me. I always want to make a difference. I want to know that I'm volunteering and I'm helping out in organizations. And so that is important to me. That's what that picture means. And then up here, I hope that I teach for a lot more years. I hope that I continue to have amazing students. And so I put this little picture showing that I want to continue teaching. And then a couple more. I have a boat. We have a really, really old boat right now. And I hope in the next several years that we can get a new one and we can continue spending lots of time on the lake. That's something that I hope to accomplish. And then I feel like we haven't traveled in a really long time. And we really like to travel and go see new places and see people that we don't always get to see. And so these suitcases show that when COVID is all over and in the future, I hope that we get to travel again. And then I found a quote that I just want to be important to me. And this is by a guy named John Wesley. And so I just wrote those words. You could do the same thing on your poster. You could find a quote or even words that are important to you and just write those in. And so I wrote, do all the good you can in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. And so that just kind of summed up my vision board. These are dreams and hopes that I have. So either way, I want you to be thinking about what you want to achieve, accomplish, or improve. And I want you to make one specific goal and answer these questions. Or I want you to make a vision board, kind of like mine, with markers and paper or a poster, however you want to do that. I would love to hear from you and see what your goals or your vision boards are. All right, well, happy Friday, fifth graders. See you soon. Bye-bye.